Hey folks, good evening. So we'll get started with the review for Teams and Zomato. It'll be a quick review. I'll just share the format. It's the same so those who had joined in the last time, we're going to follow the same format. But just to refresh everybody's memories, yeah, we'll follow this format. And within this, we are going to cover largely what are the constraints for the problem statement that we had put out. Some of the submissions, same as last time, focus on the product submissions versus the submissions and takeaways that are there. The two products that were there, Teams is what we'll start with first. In that, what are the main points to look at, and then Zomato, right? So with that, I'll get started with Teams. So the first thing to look at, I mean, the constraints of Teams. I don't know how many of you use or get to use Microsoft Teams. My screen is visible, right? You're able to see the design, right? I'm not getting feedback on that. So if somebody who's
Yes,
there,
yes.
then right. So this is the screen that gets shown, and there's a very specific time when this gets shown, right? So a lot of you may not have seen this when this is in your enterprise plan or even the app maybe. This screen is shown to people who are sent a Microsoft Teams link to join. Now, what is the use case for that? So if you're like my organization uses Google Meets, for example, and we don't use Teams at all, right? So I'm not aware of the tool. I don't have any context of that, and suddenly somebody who we are working with as a company sends a large bank, for example, sends a link for Teams and joining in here. So obviously I have very little context when I'm coming onto the screen, and there is a lot of cognitive load because I have to absorb all of this, and I'm getting into a high pressure situation, which is a meeting. So at that instant, asking a person to do so many things. In fact, there's not too many things to do. There's just two things. One is type your address and then join. But it becomes a hassle in the brain, right? And that is what you need to abstract as designers. Try to take that pain out of the thinking, the decision making process. That what am I supposed to do next? It should be intuitive enough. This is not, right. So that is one baseline, that this is not the best that can be done, and hence a redesign slightly in terms of arrangement and simplicity is what we were looking for, right? The idea was also to retain functionality, but that doesn't mean that every single thing that is shown here needs to be shown. So I don't know if some people took it literally and tried to show every single option that they've shown. I'll give you one example. Like, don't use audio or phone audio or even background filters, right? For 80 to 90% of the cases, these are irrelevant. Even for that matter, the volume, right? At this space, when I'm just about to join a meeting, maybe not relevant. Right? So abstracting that, who has done a good job, is how we were looking at it. And yeah, largely a very, very poor screen. If one has to, I don't know, maybe they didn't put too much thought into it, but a poor screen when an external person is joining, right? Somebody who does it every day, this is not really an important screen. So we look at some of the submissions that were there, and this was one of the winners. This, I think, is Arunima. It's not a fantastic design. As I said, we mentioned, right? Even with the winners, there were some challenges. So I'll stress on the challenges that we found in this. So a couple of things. While the design overall is very nice, as you can see, the simplicity comes through absolutely bang on, right? The fact that you have to type the name here, she's highlighted it, so that's a bit of a cheat there. But she's highlighted it, so it becomes very evident that this is the flow, right? You got to come here. Your eyes start from the top left, and you're just browsing and coming here. Options are in the middle. Couple of things that you can also see the download desktop app. This has come out very nicely. A couple of things that were challenging for us to say this is a fantastic submission. One is, what does this X do? It's not very evident since it's just one screen, so we have to get the context. So it's not very evident what happens when I close this. Does it close a tab? Does it close a browser? And is it at all needed? So one way of designing a good screen is to take out every element that you don't need. So is this really needed is a question worth asking. And secondly, the point is that the what do you say, the viewport of this, if you can see, there's a slight shading between, and this very, very minor point, but yeah, it helps when you see the other designs. There's this complete black area, and I don't know what the wow, color is here, but just feels a little constrained, like you're in a small window of a larger window, right? So that experience is a little constraining in the head when you see it directly, right? So you got to take a zero view of it and just close your eyes and see the screen. Immediately you feel, Array, this is a bit of a constraint. If that was not there, it's a very, very nice submission. So this is Arunima. Then so this one was from Devanshi. I think I like this the most, and I think this was the winner. Couple of things that really stand out in this submission is that the effect that she's given, right? The screen the screen where the camera is going to come, if it's on, kind of stands out, right? You feel in the context, you're like absorbed into the screen. One challenge though with this was that type your name is not very evident. So when a person is going to come in, he's most likely going to go and click join now. And in that flow, while we didn't mention it, that typing the name is a mandatory thing that you need to fulfill before going in, right? So that was one challenge here, but overall a very very nicely done design, right? Again, there are minor aspects like the font size consistency is not there, but we've kind of glanced over it because then we get into two minute details. That's not the point of these challenges. Some of the other solutions, we'll have a look at it. This one we like not because of the meme, but largely because again it does a very nice job in terms of abstracting things, right? Couple of challenges again here. The red is confusing. Is it on off? Obviously it looks off, but is it off or is it disabled? So a bit of a challenge there. Second is the name is pre-filled, and one of the main things, if you saw in the first screen, was that the person has to fill in the name as he she is a guest, right? So that has not been shown. So that's why we couldn't choose it as one of the winners. Then this is from Kabir. I think very very nice in terms of design, right? In terms of pure design, I'm not talking about prioritization, but I'm just saying in terms of consistency, this has done one of the best jobs, right? If you see every font and spacing that has been given, looks almost like a Microsoft design. Maybe just these are slightly smaller. Just just looking at it right now, but does it reduce one criteria that we were looking for? It does it make things simpler, much simpler compared to the other ones? I think this was a close third. If we had a third kind of a thing, we didn't. So maybe that's one of the reasons. But very nice job from Kabir. And we have one more. Yeah. So this was originally my favorite, right? So this was from Pranav, I believe, right? Yeah, from Pranav. And while at first glance it looks fantastic, as you get into a few more details, then it becomes a bit challenging. Like sign up and join as a guest. As I told you, the person is coming with a deep cognitive load, and you show sign up, join as a guest might be a bit offsetting for the user. So this maybe could have been done slightly differently. Just have one CTA. Again, I'm nitpicking, but that's my job here, right? And also, this does not give a state. So if you saw one of the previous designs, red was for off, and here red is, I don't know, is it on off? That state is a bit challenging to understand, but overall the design has come out very nicely. So I'll move on to the next one. In case anybody has anything you want to share or you want to ask on this specific challenge or on Teams and what you saw here, please do. Just you can just turn on your microphone and ask. Otherwise, I'll move on to the next one. So the next one was from Zomato, and I found this. I think this is a fantastic challenge. Even now, even after seeing the submissions, largely because what Zomato is trying to do, and many of you are Swiggy users, at least saw in the poll, you must have seen it with the Netflix, the tab that they've done, like the partner goes and there's a car, and we've seen these examples for so many years, but I had not seen it recently, and I'm not a Zomato user, so it was a very new thing for me. Some of you are existing users, so you must be seeing this regularly, and this must be not something very important. But the fact that they're putting offers which are slightly ads or ads which are offers, however you want to look at it, as the main thing on the order tracking screen. Now, of course, there's a main green element here, which is obviously the most important thing that the eyes goes to. And a lot of people I heard don't even look at the order tracking screen these days. They just look at the widget that's there on the phone. Since even Android, even iOS has very, very good widgets now. So people don't even care about the screen. But that said, it's a very, very important screen because a lot of time gets spent here, and they've taken a very bold move in terms of just pitching these offers slash ads to customers. Now, one interesting thing we found when we were testing this out and trying this out, and we wanted to see when the screen is shown. So what happens is neither of us, me or Nishit, is a Zomato user. Sorry, he's a Zomato Gold user and I'm not a Zomato user at all. So when I signed up, they auto tag you with Zomato Gold. Even if you remove it, even if no matter what you do, you get Zomato Gold, right? And our hypothesis is for Zomato Gold customers, they don't show these ads. I may be wrong on this. If somebody is there on the call and you could just let me know. But for Zomato Gold, we never saw any of these offers. So my sense is they're making money, like it's like a subsidized kind of a thing. This is kind of making the money that a Zomato Gold customer subscription makes, just an offset of that sort. But yeah, this is largely for people who do not have Zomato Gold. That's the assumption. And also there are offers in the vicinity, right? One important thing to know, and again, when we were judging and looking at this, is how do you reduce? So there will always be, as designers, this push and pull, right? The push is from business to do more, to do more, and from users to do less, right? So as designers, you need to come to a balance. You cannot say to business, no, we just show the order tracking screen, which was originally there, right? Swiggy had a fantastic one, even Zomato had a fantastic one. Life was very good then. But then what happens is analytics gets in, you come to know that the maximum time spent on your app, apart from looking at the restaurants and the dishes, is this screen. So then marketing comes and says, can we do some offer here? We've got some collaborations going. Can we put there? We'll make so those considerations come in, and the designer is pulled into simplify life. So that is your primary job, right? Your primary job is not just to put in the messaging, but to simplify things. And that is the most, I would say, one of the most challenging things when you have to do a balance between business and what design truly for the user is. It is the guys who solve it very, very well are great designers, right? So for example, this is a very nice design, but it isn't great for the user, right? It is good for business. Or it's not even great for the business because the way it has been, some of you have done a very nice job. We like that more than how they will come to it last. But one example, one simple example is this timer. So when I saw this first time, because as I said, I had very little context, I thought this is the timer for how much delivery time, when in fact it's here. So these two are clashing. In a way, they are clashing because the prioritization has been done. It's been done nicely, but can it be done even better? What are the things that can be done better is what we were looking at. And obviously, there are these panels which I think there's enough room, and some of you have done a fantastic job here. But holistically, we were looking what is the best design. Now that is where the problem happened, right? Each design had some fantastic ideas. Each of these designs, I mean, there were 18 submissions. Each of them had something very nice, but each of them had something that we could not say that this is going to win because there would be an issue. So what I'll do is I'll try to highlight the idea as well as the issue, so it becomes easy for you guys to assimilate. Not all 18. I've picked five. I think I've picked five. Yeah, I've picked five. So we'll get into those. I'll come to this one last because this is not design level one. This is more of the flow, and this is from Bishaka. So I'll come to this last, right? This one is from Manish. Fantastic job in terms of the lower half of the screen. So focus on this area. The rest of it is largely similar. What he's done is taken the content. So I just to refresh on this section, he's taken it out and put it right up top here with help. And there's another track order kind of a nudge given there. So not much has changed in this screen. So we expected some, because in terms of proportion of the screen, a lot to happen here as well, but that did not happen. So that was one reason why I could not say that this guy is the one to win. But look at the way he's done the reels or the ad slash reels slash offer here, as well as the one that he's done for pitching Zomato Gold. I think he's done a much better job than Zomato Gold themselves. Like this looks half done. This has come out very, very nicely, and it looks like a gold kind of an offer. In fact, this is one element. That's what I was discussing with Nishit. What are the elements that can go and sit in the Zomato app directly? I think this element can directly go and sit in the Zomato app, and it will be taken up much, much better than what exists, right? So these two were the elements that we liked in Manish's one. As I said, here, if there was a little bit more that could have been done, then definitely this would definitely be in contention for winning. Right? So this was one. So this is an anomaly. I'll come to this second last. So in terms of pure design, holistic design elements, this one from Priyansh, I think is the best, right? And bear with me why I say that. There are a few things in terms of prioritization that have gone for a toss, but in terms of design, the quality of the design, a very, very nice job here, right? So I'll give you three highlights where the challenges come. So as you may have noticed, the part of preparing, packed, on its way and delivered, these have become insignificant in delivery. Now we are so used to that cycle that we don't much care about it. So showing it and giving it so much credence may be something that is not really needed. Very nicely done, right? It's been presented very nicely, but how useful is it for users? And one major challenge with the color consistency, right? So if you go, the green is here, which looks tappable. The green is here, and the green is here. So which of these is tappable, which is not, is a little bit of a dilemma. Once you spend a little time, then you realize, no, these are not tappable. This is tappable. But anyway, it becomes a bit of a challenge. And the major problem, it's not really a problem. Again, I don't want to nitpick, but one of the major issues with this is that this seems like exactly like the delivery time, right? This has completely lost its value because, I mean, if you just compare with what they have right now, here they have 55 minutes written upfront. It's literally the third word on the page. Here you will have to go through all of this and then come to, again, the panel has been done very nicely, designed very, very nicely. But the challenge is, does it really solve for the user's problem? Unfortunately, makes it a little bit more complicated. But overall design, as I'm sure some of you might agree, has covered very, very well. So this was from Priyansh, and I'll go to the next one. So we like this design a lot. 2-3 things in this that are challenging, and I'm sure you guys must be seeing it yourselves and wondering how this came amongst the top 4. The reason is because the cleanliness of the design is fantastic. One major criteria was simplicity and reducing busyness. I think this one does the best job of all the designs that came through. But one major and two major problems are the clashing of Zomato Gold, the red that has been used. Yes, Zomato has that red and there's a specific red that they call it. But whether Zomato would ever put this up is a question mark. And again, that's subjective. Colors are subjective, right? But we felt that that's a bit too strong to show. And all the attention for other, rather than going for the vouchers and this goes to Zomato Gold. I mean, my eyes are pinned to that red part there. I don't know if it's for you as well. So that is one reason why we could not pick. And the second one, again, this, how important is this in the overall context? Showing that this has been done, it's been prepared. Not that important as I just mentioned, right? But overall, very, very clean screen. Busyness has been reduced. Just that the red, maybe if this was black, maybe, I mean, it would, I think it would look better. That's just my view. Not tried it, but yeah. So this is from Radhika. And one, I think we have one more in this. Oh, that's it. Yeah. So the earlier ones I had to show here. And yeah, this one. So here, if you can just see this, so the design isn't great. There needs a little bit upliftment is needed as compared to the other ones that I showed. But what we liked is that it's almost like gamified, right? The experience. So in what Zomato is doing right now is just tap to claim, right? It's like just like a promotion or a promo. This feels more like a game that the rider is going here and you tap on the nearby restaurants to unlock exciting offer. Now, obviously, there's a high chance that this might get missed. So maybe more prioritization is needed there. But there's a higher chance that a person will actually tap and try to discover the offer, right? So that becomes like a game that the person is playing as the delivery agent is coming to you. And that is why we like the concept, right? So as you mentioned, right, one criteria we're looking for is, have you done something differently which makes the whole experience slightly better. So these are ads, but can you do the ads in a better way? And this we felt is different from the others and quite interesting. The design wise, yes, I mean, there are elements that other designs have done much, much better. But here is one part that maybe if you can combine 3, 4 designs, you'll have a fantastic output, which would be better than what Zomato has. But yeah, all 4 of you have done a fantastic job. Others also, there were, as I said, 18 submissions. A lot of the other submissions, it was very, very difficult to pick them. But yeah, this is largely what I had to cover. Any questions from you guys who are there who joined in, whether this challenge, whether the earlier challenge, even the ones before, because a lot of you joined later on. In case you saw the earlier videos on WhatsApp and I even forgot the Hotstar Maximum. Any question, anything you'd like to ask, if there anybody wants to, you can go ahead. Otherwise, I'm pretty much done with this session, and we'll share this recording so you'll have that and you can watch it later. Okay. So that looks like that's pretty much it for this time. Let me just check if there are any other pointers I want to cover. Yeah, design quality, largely. Yeah, just one last point. So, which is from a business perspective. So, one important thing with ads is most likely these businesses are paying Zomato maybe a commission or a percentage or something, or a higher percentage just to promote their product, because there are offers from all of the guys who are there, right? Why are these highlighted? Because they're paying a little bit more. So obviously the brand recall has to be high. So brand recall has 2 or 3 things. One is the logo. The other is the name of the brand, right? So some of you, what you've done is, to abstract the whole thing, you've removed the logo. Now, while that makes the screen simpler, it reduces the recall. So if this goes to, and I'm just hypothesizing, if this goes to the marketing department who's in charge of doing that alliance or the tie-up with the brand, they will say, "No, this doesn't work." So I'm just giving you a hypothesis as a designer what challenges you might face, like if you come up with this design. I don't have a problem with the design, but I'm just showing you because here the example is very, very valid. So if you do away with the logo, you need to have a very, very valid reason why you do it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't do it, but if a similar situation comes in, right, that you have to do X, but that X is impeding a lot of things, you have to be very, very clear why you've done it. So in this case, for example, if the marketing guys say, you remove the logo, then you can say maybe we can have another nudge built in at the bottom where we show all of them with the names and the logo. So don't say, no, this is better for the user. Don't take that one stance that, no, I will not change. See if there's another way of doing it, maybe below the fold, if you can do something. Think of it that way, right? Because the brand has to show its logo. That's why they've paid it. So if the logo is not there, they might have a concern. Just one point. But yeah, these kind of discussions are always subjective and can carry on. That's pretty much it from me for this one. We'll have the next challenge live tomorrow and we'll see you there. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Any other questions that pop up later on as well, please drop them on the group and I'll see you later on. Okay. Bye-bye.